Sentire Media.
Buongiorno tutti. We're switching it up. Jason was a little tongue-tied this morning, so I'm starting the podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time or wherever you may be listening to the podcast from Italy. It is November 6th, and Jason and I are coming at you from... We are coming at you from the foothills of the Apennines in lovely little Piobico at our farming and cooking school, La Tavola Marche. You know the drill.
Yeah, 7:45 in the morning on a blustery, mild autumn day, would you say, yeah?
It's been all mild this autumn.
This autumn started out very warm and dry, and we were very concerned about the water because everything seemed to be late this year, including the autumn rain, autumn wetness, right?
Or cold. So it's been real mild this fall. Well, let's jump in. It's been probably a month or so since our last podcast. You guys know we're not too consistent this time of year. However, the guests have officially checked out. So that means...
we're done.
Yeah. So we'll be doing more podcasts.
We've closed up all the apartments, shut off the gas to them, you know, wrapped all the beds, all the things you need to do to shut the apartments down for 6 months. And that, more than anything, the guests checking out the last day didn't really feel like the end of the season. Now it does, because we've moved furniture in the kitchen and in the sala, so we've kind of got rid of the giant table in the kitchen and just kind of set everything up for
winter for us for the next almost basically 6 months until the next guests arrive.
So that definitely was like, whoa, now it feels like
exactly
like it's time. But we're as far as outside projects, I'm feeling good. All the wood is chopped. Well, the wood I think we'll need for the season is chopped, is cut, split, stacked, and ready to go.
That brings us to a phrase that we've coined. I'd like to share with you guys. You're free to use this as you wish. As we were doing this big wood stacking project, because we ordered like 10,000 kilos. I know, we talked about it
last time. It all came long, meaning big, long pieces about 1.40 meters, to which we had a chainsaw down to usable pieces for the fireplace, and then anything that was too big, we have to split.
And then restack. So we've been doing this project together, and we were saying, don't Gaji this. And do you want to explain what that means, Jay?
So, yeah, we've turned, now Dr. Gaji is our adopted papa, and he's a wonderful man, but we've turned his name into a verb, meaning Gaji. When you do a project with Gaji, it is little to no planning and not very efficient.
No. Jason immediately, when we started doing this wood project, was like, don't Gaji this. And he was specifically meaning, let's not take more time than we need also, as a general, it's just a general blanket statement.
So when you
Gaji will take a simple project of stacking wood and somehow turn this into a to-do, like an entire...
Let's just take my last Gaji project with him, which was we had the porcupines getting under the fence in the...
garden.
Down in the garden. So what we have to do is put in more... we have to, bury the fence again and then put in more stakes so it has a little bit of support. All in all, an hour's worth of work.
Sure.
But when you're Gajiing this project, first you walk down there and you study it. And you... Then you get the hoe and you start mucking around a little bit.
Futzing.
An hour later, you have me now walk back up into the shed to get tools 8 times. Now, it's not, okay, here's what we need. We need this. We need some wire. We need the rebar. We need a mallet. But no. One at a time. Go up and get the rebar. Okay? I go up and get the rebar. Come back down. Yeah. We need the wire. We need the baling wire. Okay? So now I've tried to head him off at it. What do we need? And I'll try to gather stuff together. But it always, remember, this is a man who's retired. And this is what we're doing today.
He's got nothing but time.
Whether this project should take an hour or if it's a big project and should take all day, this is going to take all day.
We also like to call Gaji a grande time waster.
So luckily we did not gotcha this project. I had all the things I needed, my splitting maul, my wedge, all the
extra gas,
all the gas I needed, all the chain oil I needed, all the tarps are ready, all the cord to tie down the tarps once we're done. We were ready to go, and we busted it out. We're done. I'm looking at beautiful stacks of wood right now. It looks very, very nice. I do have
It really
to say.
does. It really does. So just remember that. Don't gotcha your stuff.
Yeah, when you're going to go do your next project, have a plan. You know, get all the tools at once. Be efficient. Clean it up, and be done. Move on.
Oh, my gosh.
We are in the midst of truffle season right now. Truffle season started on the 1st of October.
For white truffles.
White truffles. Did we talk about this on the last podcast with people coming by? Holy crap. So the first week of truffle season was a zoo out here. It is all the old guys trying to get. I mean, white truffles cost a ton of money.
This year, it's €2,500.
Not cheap. So you can make a lot of money in a day. So these guys try to beat each other to the punch. So we had our road seldom sees 5 cars a day, and it sounded like there was a rally going on down our road. First off. All these guys drive these old Fiat Panda 4x4s. And when you think 4x4, don't think of like a truck. This is a tiny, tiny car. It just has 4-wheel drive. Now, they're great.
It's like a shell of a car.
It's a go-kart. It's a beefed-up go-kart with a Fiat badge on it. Why they love these cars is they're very light. They only weigh about 600, 700 kilo. And they have 4-wheel drive. And they can climb up any hill. You think mud, it doesn't matter. You think
rock.
that a big like Land Rover or a bit something like that would do it better? Absolutely not. Those cars are much heavier. And this thing, it's just like a little dune buggy go-kart. It just goes up the hills. It goes through mud, anything. So they love them. And these used cars, from the late 90s command a huge price on the used market. Anyway, since they have such tiny little motors, they have like 1 liter or 1.2 liter motors. To get any power out of them, you've got to kind of wring them out. You got to kind of rev them through the gears. Now, when these guys are coming through at 3:30, 4 in the morning, and they're in second gear, it sounds like they're in your bed with you. And all I want to do is open the door and scream at them, shift the car into third. Please just shift the car into third, because it wouldn't have that piercing sound at 3:30 in the morning.
No, it happens all day long. Gotcha used to be so similar, and he used to have a muffler problem, too. These cars are so notoriously loud the way they're driven. And it has been, it's the traffic and noise out here from the regular hunters to the truffle hunters. But let's go back to that 3:30, 4 in the morning.
So we have this one guy who comes by at about 3:30 in the morning. He will park where I kind of down by
around
the road, but he will walk right past our window to our we live in a little casetta, a little house,
a little cottage
that's 10 meters from the main house. It's separated by the walkway. But he will walk around between the chicken coop and us, and it's right next to our bedroom window, like right near my head. And at 3:00 in the morning, you don't think that there's hunters out there.
It's pitch black. There shouldn't be. You're not doing, and no one in the woods or a city street at 3:30 in the morning is doing any good.
So Ashley wakes me up. We think it's Ladri.
I don't think it's a thief, but I'm just like, someone's out there.
Someone's out there.
There's not supposed to be anyone.
And it's like you can't walk past someone. He can walk around and just walk the driveway, and that'd be a lot different than walking right past.
There are so many entrances into the woods. We live on the edge of the woods. Like, just go by where you parked the car and go in on the other side of the river. Like, there's so many passages into the woods. It's crazy. I don't know why it has to be right by our window.
So, the other day, no, actually not the other way. Now,
wait, can we tell them what you?
No. Then a few weeks ago, I see the Carabinieri Forestale. So like the forest service, what do you call them in the?
Forest Service.
The Carabinieri has a division of like a forest service who protects the woods
like the rangers.
Rangers, there you go, park ranger kind of thing, because this is protected area. And I see him on the road, and I stop him and I go, "Hey, just out of curiosity, what is the law for hunting? When truffle mushroom? When does it start? When are you allowed to be out there?" And they said 5:30. we'll give them a break. Like if people start coming around 5, it's not a big deal. But 5:30 is when you can start. I go, okay. I have people at 3 o'clock in the morning, like just everywhere. And they go, really? Where? What's the number plate? What car is it? And it's like, whoa, guys. Snitches get stitches. All I'm saying is that I got people walking.
Jason's like, I'm not naming names. I got like,
people,
can you just tell us about the car? Can you tell us about the car? We'll figure it out by the car.
I got people tromping past my window, scaring the crap out of me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Plus, I have people here who are going to think the same thing. Guests aren't going to. No one's out at 3 in the morning doing anything good. So they're like, oh, okay. Can we park and can we
They got
hide?
super
they got
excited.
really excited. Can we hide in your driveway? Hide the car. A couple of mornings to see if we can catch these people.
They were gonna do some stings.
Yeah, I'm like, do whatever you want,
Stakeouts and
man.
stings
It's
at our
like,
house.
Do whatever you want. Just
They wanted our WhatsApp number so they could give us a heads up so we knew they were coming. And it was just so funny because I felt like you could tell they came by the next day or called the next day too. But I was like, you can tell this is the biggest break they have gotten in, I don't know, years. And
I doubt anyone talks to these guys or gives them help at all.
We're not telling on anyone. We're just like, dude, come on. 3:30 in the morning, pick a different spot. And I feel like they went back to their little office in Piobico and like plotted it out, drew a map of our house.
So now we're buddies with the Forestale. Every time they pass, they wave at me. And I don't think they caught anyone because...
No, neither do I.
Those guys, those truffle hunters, the hardcore ones, were here for about a week. And then there's nothing out here.
No, so the season started really strong and then has petered off. The thing, we just did a bunch of truffle hunts with the guests. And one thing, though, to keep in mind is later in the season this year now they're starting to be smaller because of the lack of rain and everything as well. And however, you could still have a small truffle that's aged properly underground and it'll be more prophymatic than a bigger immature truffle. So size doesn't necessarily matter. And
for the people for the restaurants in the market,
you want to see the big boys.
In fact, when I buy the truffles from the guys coming out of the woods, they sell me the little walnut and smaller size ones because the restaurants don't want those small little ones. They want the big ones. They look better, but the small ones can, like Ashley said, could be more prophymatic. It's all a ruse, man. It's all a made market. It's nothing coming out of that woods should cost 2,500 euros a kilo. Absolutely nothing. It's like De Beers.
It is crazy.
It's a fabricated market because we think we should pay that much money. That's why we pay that much money. If everyone stopped tomorrow, they'd cost what a porcini cost, which is like 15, 20 euros a kilo.
Jason's not a...
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But you guys are. And we just got done with our truffle workshop, which I think went really, really well. Everyone had a great time.
Great. It was really cool because the first kind of truffle hunting experience we did with them went to our friend Roberto's agriturismo, and he has a cultivated truffle farm. And I think there must have been some...
Well, what does that mean? Because people might think that you plant them like rows of corn or something.
No, you don't plant the truffles. Well, actually, you do. What you...
inoculate.
You inoculate them. So you start the trees, and you plant the trees, I think it's 5 meters by 5 meters apart. So there's plenty of space in between. And at the root of the seedling or sapling, whatever it is, you put a tiny piece of truffle into the root to help it grow. Now, here's the amazing part, and this is where Italy is still Italy. And now you wait 15 years for your first chance to hopefully find and harvest truffles. These are long-term commitment people out here. So Roberto started this over 15 years ago at his agriturismo and has 3 different sections where he has a cultivated farm. So yes, he started the seedlings, whatever you call it, with a little tiny, tiny bit of truffle, and then you hope for the best. And these are black truffles.
Yeah, the white ones, you can't do this.
No, they know a lot more about how to grow and how black truffles...
Help. Yeah, they're not growing them. I think that's going to confuse people.
They understand a lot more about the growth of black truffles than white truffles. Roberto was saying we only know maybe 20%, if that, about how to find how they grow for white truffles. black truffles is a bit more like 75%, but there's still so much of this unknown. And exactly, he's planted these trees 15 years ago with hopes that they'll produce truffles, but you never know.
So basically, he's setting up an environment that is hospitable to this type of fungus and hoping for the best.
Exactly. And so it's really interesting to go with Roberto because he is explaining to us, he's all about the education of it, what to look for in the around the tree, the surroundings, what the habitat, if you will, where these trees will naturally grow, and how to train the dogs and all of that. Then we went on a boots on the ground truffle hunt into the woods with Michele, a firefighter from Piobico, who's also a truffle hunter with his dog. And then that's when you're just running around the woods following the dog. He doesn't tell you too many of the secrets. He's more watching the dog, on the dog, and just collecting the truffles as she digs them up left and right. It was great. But the guests did really enjoy it. And we went to kind of the culmination was the White Truffle Festival in Aquilania, which was
hysterical.
Classic.
So it rained that night. It was a Saturday night, last Saturday night. And when we went in, it was sprinkling out. And normally, we've been in years past where that festival is, you are shoulder to shoulder. Kind of like the chocolate festival we went to, the Euro Chocolate Festival we talked about.
No, we haven't talked about it.
We didn't talk about Euro Chocolate? I thought we did on the last one.
I don't think so. We haven't done a podcast since then.
Oh. We went to Euro Chocolate in Perugia. It was horrible. There was too many people. I lived in New York for 8 years, and now all of a sudden I get freaked out in crowds.
And don't call it Euro Chocolate. Call it just regular Italian.
Yeah, it was
chocolate.
A lot of it was all industrial. There was nothing handmade, nothing people made. It was a big commercial for different major chocolate.
Anyway, back to the truffle one.
Back to the truffle one. So there were a few people, but it wasn't packed. We went in to have a...
But I was like pleasantly surprised. It was kind of rainy, but I just, you're bringing guests and you want it to look festive and you're kind of promoting this event in a way.
There were people around, but it wasn't...
Music was playing. It was like, okay, this is a good start, I thought, because we were there at like 7 and the guests got there early to walk around. We go in for dinner.
Not for dinner, for aperitif and a drink.
But we're there for 2 hours.
Were we there for 2 hours? Okay.
We walk out and it's 9 o'clock. And it was like there had been some time warp.
It was
dead.
Crickets.
It was deed. And not like, because everyone's having dinner under other tents or the restaurants are all full.
No, shut.
It was like, what the hell just happened?
It was just...
Because we were like, let's go walk around the festival now, guys. We have been to this festival almost every single year for the past 10 years, and I've never seen it like that. These
festivals usually go till the morning hours. Like, they'll have bands starting after dinner at like 10.
Yeah, we never see the late night bands because they don't even start till exactly 9:30, 10. So I thought finally, we're going to be up for it. No,
shut. So
Jason had his heart set on mortadella.
Oh, once a year and only once a year. There's this guy, I don't even know where they come from. Where do they come from? They come up every year and go to this truffle festival in Aquilania, and it's mortadella made from wild boar. And they sell sandwiches of this mortadella made from wild boar. It's delicious. It's the only reason I go to this festival every year because it's this. Other than that, it's the same stuff.
It was just kept talking about it. He even was telling the guests, I'm not even here for you guys. Like, it's great to see you, but I'm really here for the della. I'm here for the mortadella.
Shut.
We go after exactly. Also, all he's talking about, the guests are all following him because that's all he's been talking about is the mortadella. Zero. Shut down. Shut it down.
So the Italians don't do very well in the rain. So a little rain, and it was a quieter Saturday night, and they just decided, we're going to just shut this whole thing down at 9 o'clock. We walk out at 10 after 9 from the restaurant, and there was nothing going on.
Thankfully, the guests were pooping out after the truffle hunt into the woods for an hour and a half or so, running around following the dog. But yeah, it was kind of lame. Jason taught the guests one of our favorite festival phrases: "Grande flop."
That's a Gaji phrase. It's a grande flop. It was a flop. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to have these big festivals here, because these towns lay out so much money for the setup and the insurance. Now you have to have the insurance. Oh, well, they don't know about it. So at some club, like some teenager, like under 21 club, last summer, 2 summers ago, they overpacked it and there was a fire and all these kids got trampled. So now when you have a festival, they tighten down the restrictions and you have to have much more insurance, and it costs a lot more now for the insurance. So when you have these festivals and these 10s and 20 and 30, God knows how much they have to lay out, and then no one shows up, it's a big deal.
It's a grande flop.
A grande flop.
Oh my gosh, we forgot to mention second to the last guests. We thought we were in the home stretch.
Oh man.
And it was feeling good. It was like we've got 2 weeks left, 2 groups left. Man, I can't believe it. The season is coming to a close, and we're coasting now in that sense of just the house is ready, everything's good, projects are done, and the house always just kicks back.
So, like I always say, our problems always stem here from water. Either bringing it here, the lack thereof, heating it, whatever. If there's a problem, it's going to have an origin of water. And this year was no different. The second to last guest, thank God it was warm out. Like everyone was sleeping with windows open in the end of October. So it wasn't the end of the world. But we had our Caldaie, what's it called?
Hot water heater.
Yes, our hot water on-demand hot water heater started going on the fritz, and it kind of did it over a period of like a week, because I would obviously, if there's no hot water coming out of the tap, I'd know immediately. But every time we were doing it, there was hot water. But finally, after one cooking class, Ashley says, "Hey, there's nothing." I go and check it out, and sure enough. So, long story short, you call the guy out, and of course, it's
on a Saturday.
It's on a Saturday, so no one's coming till Monday. And everyone was cool about it because it was weird. There was some it was kind of working, but with 12 people in the house, it wasn't supporting everyone's hot water needs.
No, which is not how it should be at all.
No, you should have all-you-can-eat hot water.
And so this happened on a Saturday, or we realized on a Saturday, but the guests are checking out on Sunday, and everyone's pretty laid back about it. Exactly, and everyone's pretty kind of almost all from California, and like, yeah, we get it. Because we're also at the same time asking them to be kind and gentle with the water because we think we might run out of it.
That's another thing. There was no water.
Not only do we think we're going to run out, but what we have probably isn't.
So that Monday was Ashley's birthday. So we went on a little road trip for the day and left. I figured, okay, I'm going to call him first thing Monday morning. There's no one's going to come here on Monday. This happened on a Saturday afternoon. Don't even bother. There's no 24-hour, 365 workman in this area. I'll call Monday morning. Hopefully he'll be there on Tuesday. And I pray by the second part of the week when guests arrive, we'll have everything worked out. So, of course, I call Monday morning, 8 a.m. They go, great. Let me give you a call back. We'll see when we can get a technician out there. Please, this is an emergency. Blah, blah. I do my whole spiel. So she calls me back, holy crap, 30 minutes later, and says, great. Technician's in Piobico right now. He'll be to you in 10 minutes. I am 2.5 hours away in Perugia. Because we took off
Sunday night.
And we were going to be gone one night and come back Monday afternoon.
We even talked about it. Like if I had said to Jason, let's delay the trip or let's not go because Monday morning, if I was like positive poppy princess, like, you never know, they might show up Monday morning. He would be like, are you high? What are you talking?
How many years have you lived in Italy, Ashley? No one shows up 20 minutes after you call.
Exactly, especially on a Monday morning.
I would have bet all the tea in China that there's no way. Sure as shit. Italy, like, you can never predict anything.
No.
Sure enough, I call it 8 o'clock. By 8:45, she's telling me that the guy's 5 minutes from my house. And I have to look like such a complete ass telling him, yeah, I know all that stuff I told you 10 minutes ago, how it's an emergency.
And the house is full of guests?
And the house is full of guests. Yeah, there's no one there. I'm 2.5 hours away. She was not happy.
No. Then Jason has to stave off a slight panic freak out attack.
Because this is the only game in town. This is the only people that work on this type of equipment. You can get, the local guy, but he's not going to know what he can do. And he can't get the authorized parts from Viessmann or whatever, this German company that makes all these heaters.
Jason called like half a dozen other places, and they all said, "Yeah, call Arduini." And it was like,
Arduini. Okay.
Arduini.
So I pissed off the only people that can help me. So I call up and I eat crow and I apologize and blah 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 blah. So the guy does show up that afternoon. Holy crap! We're home now.
Thank God we're home.
We're home now. He shows up. Of course, because everything is electronic now. If you have one problem with any electronics, their solution is to replace the whole electronic
motherboard
unit. So, of course, at a ridiculous price. So, but we have no choice. We have no hot water. So we go ahead and do it, and
then just hope it arrives in time because he has to order it. He doesn't have it.
They don't have parts stocked. There's not like, I'll just go back to my warehouse and grab this and be back. It's like, well, we'll order it from Germany and tell them to overnight it, but we don't know. Long story short, the morning that the guests were coming, he was there. Everything worked out in the end. But you can just never predict anything in this country, even when you think you know.
The whole time Jason's like, all right, worst case scenario. What do we do if X, Y, or Z doesn't happen? We never did best case scenario.
I never thought. I'm such a pessimist. I'm such a pessimist, man. Like, worst case scenario, he can't get here till Wednesday, and then they order the part, and it's not here till Friday. What do we do? Never.
Best case, what happens if he's at our house, like, in 20 minutes?
So, there you go. There's Italy. But we have a brand new
hot water heater.
Well, basically. I mean, the rest of it's just an igniter and a thing. The whole guts of it was replaced. So, there we go. Plenty of...
Well, it all worked out. We still got to enjoy our trip to Torgiano, which was the kind of start off where we decided to spend the night to go on a road trip through what is affectionately called Cashmere Road. And this was a blast. We went and stopped at Langorotta, I think is what, or Langorotti winery first thing in the morning, picked up some great... It was good Pinot Grigio and stuff, something different that we don't get up here.
But
and
I have a problem.
Rubesco.
Their Reserva is €30 a bottle.
I know. That is super expensive for us.
You can go and get the best wines in Piemonte, some of the best ones for €30 a bottle.
You can get some of the best wines in La Marche for $9.
I know. So I think it was overpriced.
But we took our time and we drove through, just a handful of little towns. And the part that we forgot is that in Umbria,
you got to explain where this is.
So it's just south of Perugia, just a little southeast of Perugia is Torgiano. Then we made our way basically due west to the opposite side of, just south still of Perugia, just to
the other side,
to the other side. And this is, where they call Cashmere Road, where a ton of cashmere is made and in Italy. And it's so cool to go. A majority of these ones have the factories right there where the ladies are sewing or the machines are going in the back. If you ask politely, sometimes they'll let you see. It's really cool. But we forgot, as I'm looking at a map, that this isn't La Marche, where each village is separated between the foothills and these little hills and mountainous roads, and it just felt like you could get around so quickly. It would be like, that next town's is maybe
10 kilometers. But it's straight
so
and
it's
flat.
6 minutes? How is that possible?
Because 10 kilometers around here would be like almost a half hour.
Exactly.
It's especially for people who don't know the roads a lot and don't do the curves very well. Umbria, the Umbrian Valley was nice to drive in. Big wide roads, and straight and flat.
Well, and it's you can get a good price at a lot of these places. Some things are not on sale. Some things are greatly discounted. You got to look through everything, but it's real. I love it. It's fun. I'm a sweater girl. And we made our way at the very end, and just happened to be the last stop was the town Solomeo, which is the home of Brunello Cucinelli Cashmere. And as we were driving up, we didn't quite know what we were coming into, but we could tell immediately.
All of a sudden, everything got real nice, real clean. The houses weren't on the road anymore. They were set back.
And you could smell it.
You could smell the money.
That's what Gaji likes to say.
Because the surrounding area is very agricultural. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's run down. I have to say, all in all, Umbria is a little bit more fixed up and cleaned up than Marche is. But it just had a totally different look. Like
all of a sudden it was like these aren't just fences, these are gates.
These are gates. The stone is pristine. Everything looks like it was power washed yesterday. The foliage and the flowers and the trees and just everything.
And as soon as you kind of drop into the center of town along the main little road, it was like, whoa, this little teeny tiny village is fully restored impeccably. We park and go in to check out the Cashmere. We were checking out all the shops.
Now, keep in mind, the ones we've been to before are basically little. Don't think of it as a shop. It is like
an extension
off the manufacturing floor. So it's not fancy. It's just racks with sweaters and shelves with sweaters, and it is
more industrial in a way, or small feeling.
Yeah, like you come in here and you buy. It's not pretty mannequin. There's no mannequins in the entire place as normally. Now you go to one that looks like a super high-end New York City flagship shop.
And talk about you could smell it.
Oh my God. In. So we didn't really understand. Like, we knew this was nicer, right?
Yeah.
But Cashmere's...
And I knew there was a reason we hadn't gone before, like that it was more expensive and like, I don't know, this is going to be a little out of our price range. But let's check it out. Who knows?
Who knows what you'll find. There was nothing in there under 2,000 euros.
The first sweater I picked up was, I think, 4,000. And I thought, oh, put this back real gentle.
I'm surprised they let us walk in, to be quite honest.
Jason kept saying that. He kept saying, why weren't we offered coffee?
Yeah, they didn't offer us coffee. I noticed other people were being offered coffee. We did not get offered coffee. It was a big store. It was 2 levels.
It was huge. The men's department was stunning.
The stuff is absolutely stunning. But my question is, what other than the name? I get that. I get the name. But what makes that sweater 2,000 and the ones we're looking at 200?
I don't know.
Is it that much of a quality thing? Because I went to the back and saw people hand making sweaters at the other places. Mm-hmm. I know there's people, they're at much nicer, like, stations. Their stations are all made of wood and antique, and they're gorgeous, and they're like animals at the zoo. It was a giant glass windows, so you could see
floor to ceiling,
and you look at, and there's 8 people sitting there sewing, with like old school sewing machines. But you go to the other ones, and there's people sitting there sewing, but they're doing the same thing, but it's just not as what. It's just more industrial there.
I don't know. He's got it together. So this Brunello Cucinelli, look him up. Interesting guy. In 1985, he'd already been doing cashmere. I guess he's credited for adding color to cashmere. Instead of like just camel and black and stuff to really add a lot of the Italian colors to it. Anyway, he took the tiny town that I think he must be from, Solomeo, and decided to completely restore it. It's a Borgo at best, a hamlet, let's call it, not a village.
It's so ingenious, though. And you realize no one's going to come to a rundown central Italy town to spend $2,000 on a sweater. If you're coming to this town, it's got to look like it should come from there.
Every corner was decorated for Halloween and fall. Like Jason was mentioning, there's it's all set up, not like a campus, but I guess you could call it that because they do have classes and stuff there. But
basically they took like the castle and made like their stuff was inside.
You walk around the little village, this little hamlet, and each little house has been restored and sectioned. And exactly, you see the seamstresses. There's like the a place where they do cooking classes and
it was weird. Like you'd walk walk around in the hamlet, and it'd be like a little sign that would say like finishing rooms, or so it was like a campus where there was different buildings that you had to go to. Very, very nice.
Ingenious, beautiful. Well, it's definitely, even if it's out of your price range, it's worth a visit just to both go, holy shit, how much does that cost? And just to kind of take all in like the extent of the work put into that place.
And we were not, this was a Monday morning at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was not empty, and people were buying stuff.
Yes.
Which is why we didn't have, that's why they had the coffees, and we didn't have the coffees.
You know where they'll give everyone coffee and popcorn? Les Schwab. My grandpa.
I don't know if we ever told this story. Her grandpa Ashley's grandpa, I love this guy. He would tell her, hey, you want to go get coffee? We'd be like, yeah, let's go get a cup of coffee. He wouldn't take us to
and he'd say you forgot the other combo because he'd go, or do you feel like some popcorn?
Yeah,
and you'd be like, sure, but like,
whatever.
That's weird.
Whatever. Okay. Get in the truck. It's not he's taking us to the local diner where they know his name, or the coffee, or the donut shop, or the what. He takes us to the tire place
Called Les Schwab.
Called Les Schwab, because there they have a popcorn machine and a coffee maker in their waiting room, and
For free.
And that's where you go.
So he takes us to Les Schwab. We're like, do you need to do something with your car? He's like, hell no. They make the best coffee in town. It's like, oh my God. And they all are just like, well, they sure knew his name there.
They knew, oh, here comes the guy who just eats the popcorn and drinks the coffee. Anyway, we're off topic. So it was a it was a really nice trip. It was a beautiful day out. And
yeah, and I love being able to, when we get the breaks and stuff, to do these little trips within Italy. We forget sometimes that something like this is only 2.5 hours away. It could be just a day trip, but it was really nice to extend it slightly and just really enjoy ourselves.
And keep in mind, when Cashmere, you probably have an idea of Cashmere costing like hundreds and hundreds of dollars a sweater. But remember, just like the prosciutto and the salami, when you go to the place where they make it, the prices aren't exaggerated. So most of the sweaters that we're buying at these places are like 80 euros.
80 to 130.
30, yeah. Definitely.
But you're seeing where it's made. It's not just like it's a, don't get me wrong, I love J. Crew or something, but it's not just a J. Crew sweater with stamped on it. You have no idea it's coming from some factory, God knows where.
And you see the bolts of yarn being made into the sweaters, and you see that it's 100% cashmere, not. I mean, it feels really soft. I can't get any. I am not a big enough boy to have a cashmere sweater.
I try every time. But
I got a hat.
No. I know, you got a hat.
I got a hat. That's another thing. I was looking for a hat. I was like, maybe I can get a hat at the Cucinelli super swanky one. And I go over and look at a hat. It was 220 euros for a skull cap ski hat. I was like, Jesus.
He's like, we need to leave.
We need to leave.
But we're excited. We're getting ready to start. We're planning our Christmas tree hunting trip where we'll go up north to the Alps, hopefully get a little hockey in. And I was thinking about going. It's just kind of wild. I grew up in Washington State, and the same drive up to the Alps is less than going from Seattle to Spokane or to Eastern Washington. That takes like a 5+ hour drive. This is about that. And that we're still just in Italy and we're making it up to the mountains.
It's
because it just makes, sometimes I was thinking it sounds so like fancy. Oh, we're going to the Alps. But
no, it's not that far. They do not have, we're still American at heart. Even though we've been here 12 years, when you look at me, I'm very American. So we need a Christmas tree, a big ass Christmas tree. We've talked about trying to get them around here before, where they'll get you a live tree, and then I want to just take the chainsaw and cut the root ball off right in front of them at the nursery and have their mouths drop. But they don't do Christmas trees like big ones. You can go to the coast like Pesaro or Fano to the big box
nursery
stores, but they'll have like little ones, like a meter, like little fun ones.
Like what? You'd be like, oh, that's good for a kid's room. Like that's just a fun one, or decoration tree, just a simple thing.
But I want a 2+ meter, like the proper Christmas tree. So we go up to the Alps.
I want to deck the MF and halls.
So we go up to the Alps, and up there they're giving them away. They're so cheap. I can't believe it. A giant, beautiful, gorgeous, huge Christmas tree is like $30.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go up to, we got 2 last year. We're going to get maybe 3 this year. I don't know. Well, who knows?
Who knows? We might just fill the van with Christmas trees.
Do a side business, start selling them here. Someone said we should start our own Christmas tree farm. It's like,
no.
I know. It's
sounds
crazy.
Like starting a truffle farm 15 years later.
Exactly. But that'll be a blast.
Yeah, all the Christmas markets start up at the end of November, beginning of December. We head up there and we do like Vipiteno. If you look at a map, the more on the eastern part of the Alps, not above Milan.
Alto Adige or Südtirol, depending on what you want to call it. Kind of Trento, Bolzano,
Vipiteno,
Bressanone,
Vipiteno, up there, and then on the other side of that mountain, I forget what that mountain's called. This year we might go up into Österreich, a little bit, because
I want my schnitzel with knödel.
Yeah, with spazielli. I can never
Spazielli.
Spazielli. I never.
know.
Of course, our pronunciation is terrible. But the little noodly dumpling things that we thought they'd have them up in the Italian side, but of course, it's just like around here, very localized. You have to go onto the other side of the border.
Oh yeah, we know what you're talking about, but no, they're not from here. It's like,
No.
damn it.
So we'll have to go up there just for schnitzel.
So I can eat my way through Austria.
Yeah. Plus, I like Austria. It's really pretty.
I do too, especially this time of year. So getting ready. The house is already starting to be flipped. Like we said, the wood is stacked. Getting the winter travel plans underway.
The last Truffle Festival in Aquilania ended this weekend, or is it one more day next week? And that's the last one for the season, and then it gets kind of quiet until Christmas holiday starts.
Yes, but I've noticed Italy is starting earlier and earlier to decorate for Christmas.
Yeah, this year it's already out.
They're starting right now, like beginning of November, because of course they don't have Thanksgiving, so there's not an in-betweener, and they don't really do Halloween. But yeah, I've noticed they're starting to hang lights. They're starting to get ready. I don't know when they're going to flip the switch. But
Gaggi already brought
panettone, and we gave it to the guests on our quiz night, and everyone loved. We were like, "You guys, I'm sorry."
No, it was a
Pandoro, but it was so funny because he brought one over, and he just tries to. I don't know if he's trying to secretly poison us with panettones and stuff. Like he wants us to get fat. If he brings it over because he wants to secretly eat it here with us, or if he just wants to get it out of his house.
I think it's a little bit of all three.
I do too. But we didn't want it in our cupboard because we know we'll eat it or make French toast, and we don't need it right now.
No, the Gaggi's a doctor, a cardiologist, so his patients bring him shit all the time, and a lot, especially around this time of year, it's going to be some kind of cake in a box, whether it's Pandoro is
cake in a box.
Think of Pandoro is golden bread. It's just think of like this, just sweet, light,
almost
pound cakey
pound cake, but like. The consistency in your mouth of like a marshmallow. It's so soft.
It's delicious and horrible
good and gross
at the same time.
It's weird, but we were like, okay, we were doing this quiz night, and it's just a simple hangout night. Let's share it with the guests. And it was so funny because we were like, we would never ever serve this normally,
They
but
ate it all.
everyone loved it.
They ate it all.
You warm it by the fireplace and dump too much powdered sugar over it. It was great.
So yeah, he brings them over because I think he doesn't want them in his house.
So before we start wrapping it up, because do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Nah.
I want to do a big announcement on here that we do have dates and some information online for the first advanced cooking class. This is the one that you guys have been waiting for. This is for returning guests only. Just scroll down. And we're going to be doing it in the fall. It's going to be September 2nd to the 7th. So 5 nights, the advanced class, and it is all about taking what you've learned before and building on it. So if you've been here before, you remember fossa, you remember balancing flavors.
And this time, we're going to kind of work. We're going to work in a squadra or a group. It's only 6. It's limited to 6 guests. Basically, the idea is this: we are going to do everything, some more, not challenging, but more detail-oriented. Some more detail-oriented things that take a lot more time. Whereas in the cooking class, we have 4 hours to make dinner for 20 people or whatever it is.
We're taking 4 days to make a big lunch for, drumroll please, Italians.
Yes.
We're raising the stakes on you.
So we're going to tighten the tolerances. So for instance, if like we did a lot of cavatelli in the cooking classes this autumn, and we'll show you 2 or 3 times how to do the cavatelli, and we'll correct you 2 or 3 times, but after that, we kind of leave you alone, because if we stay on top of you and every one you do, you're like, nope, you're going to get discouraged, and you're not having fun anymore. There's a balance between teaching you something, and then some people just aren't going to get it, or they just want to do it their own way and don't give a shit, and just let them do it. This time around, that's not going to go. We have to make it. We're going to be cooking for other Italians who are they're always judging, and they're very critical about everything they eat. So the plan is this: we will take 3 or 4 days to do a beautiful I haven't written the menu yet. I have no idea. Giant Sunday lunch for 12 to 15 Italians. So we'll make the cappelletti. We'll do different things. I don't know, but it's not going to be
There's no lemons in the oven.
No,
There's
none of
no
that
rosto
stuff.
morto or panna cotta. We know you guys have done that. And this is taking it and building off all of it.
So things that are great in this one is timing. How to time all this stuff to get everything out in the proper order, perfectly cooked. Menu planning, and just doing some more technical things here than just the real. I really try to keep it stupid simple for the normal cooking classes to show you how you don't need a lot of frill and complicated or a lot of steps in these dishes to make something that's beautiful. Well, this time around, we're going to pick out the ones that take the more steps and kind of talk about those a little. I think it's going to be a blast. I think it's going to be very interesting and different. Small group. And
we'll know you guys. I'm excited.
And it's fun cooking not for the other people in the group, but for actual, like, we will eat a staff meal together. Like,
exactly.
We're not sitting with this will be we're serving lunch to these people. So I think it'll be a blast. I think people will get a kick out of it.
I do too. So mark your calendar, September 2nd to 7th. That'll be a good one. And also, for those of you interested, we've heard your requests and we brought it back one more. We're bringing it back one more time. The Move to Italy workshop, beginning of May. So if you are still interested in changing your life,
whether you're coming to retire, opening up a activity, or just curious, we're going to do it one more time. Here's the thing. Every time we get a bunch of people who say they want to do it, we say, all right, well, we'll do it. And then nothing, right? No response.
This one's already almost sold out.
Is it really?
Half full.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Normally people are dream drunk.
Well, that's okay. They might be that.
They're like my brother, like my idiot brother who gets back from Rio de Janeiro and decides he's going to move down there and start.
No, Colombia.
Sorry, Colombia. That's right. Even better. Gets back from Colombia and decides he's going to do events in Colombia for corporate retreats. It's like it's like what corporation is coming down to Colombia to do a corporate, or a t-shirt shop.
He thought about selling art too.
Selling art. That's right.
Becoming a Colombian art dealer. He knows nothing about. Anyway. So we got a lot on the books for 2020. It's already filling up. And of course, the full farmhouse rental. If you want to come out, bring a group of friends.
And plan your own holiday. We'll do whatever you guys want to do.
Exactly.
It's your house.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We got a day to get going. It's 8:30 and chickens need to be fed.
All right, bring us home.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast from Italy. You know where to find us. www.latavolamarche.com. LATAVOLAMARCHE. Shoot us an email at info@latavolamarche. Ask us questions about the podcast, life, any of the workshops, anything you've heard. And we're happy to respond or share it here. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know the deal.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.
Ciao, ciao.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com. That's SENTIRE media.com and find out how to submit your show.